All right. Was dealing with some stuff yesterday, personal stuff at the house, and I forgot to check it. I came down to check it now, and I gave it a nice shake before dumping it out here. I noticed that there was no water sounds. Still, clearly, no marks on the brass. You know, if water was evaporating out there out of those holes as hot steam, the brass would have a mark on it. Like it would have a stain. As far as anytime I've ever seen any kind of metal that has steam coming out of, tight holes, it leaves a mark. And the metal up top was never hot, which also boggles my mind because when you have steam coming out of these little holes like that, like this whole thing will be hot enough to produce the steam from the vapor, right? Or from water. But nothing, it was never hot. And I'm gonna get a little pointer here to help before I start touching things. I just scraped with this little screwdriver out everything and dumped it out. You can see I gave it a good scraping 4 times. Here's 4 piles. Um, the pile of ground crystals and mixed clay that I started with um, was probably about this big right here. This pile, maybe that might be pushing it actually. Maybe this pile right here. You see it's a little bit more lumped up, but the fact of the matter is, look how much is produced. I do have a scale. I will try to gather all this up and weigh it. I did not weigh the material going in, but it was definitely not over a gram. I mean, it was very lightly ground. Almost, the material was almost coarser than like your average beach sand, a little bit bigger crystals or parts. And as I put my hands in here, I can still feel some little tiny grains of sand, but most of it is extremely fine powder. Um, and all the little grains of sand that I'm looking at, like this one, I don't know if you can see it, right here. That is a little grain of sand, actually. You see how almost perfectly round it is? Like, is that another one right next to it? Might be. No. No, that one. I got it stuck on my finger. It was just a chunk of very fine powder. Um, it's marvelous because, I mean, do I think this is potentially sealed earth right here? I mean, it looks a little too, a little too off-white, but the clay that I started with wasn't purified, it wasn't pure, how you said that, kaolite or whatever, or kaolin. Um, it did have some impurities in it, and I didn't filter it this time. I left the impurities in it. So maybe I'll filter the next batch. I still have it prepared upstairs in the fridge. I will take a picture and show you how much is left, um, and how much, well, not really how much is left, but how much is I still have that I didn't put in here because I thought it was going to be able to hold 250 milliliters, but it could only hold, maximum capacity filled all the way up to the brim is 70 milliliters, and I put in about probably 60 or 55 somewhere in here. So, and the water stayed here each time I checked it. Yesterday morning, and then now tonight. I didn't check it yesterday night to see, but I just think it's, look how much came out. That's way more than I put in, way more. So I really do think that the algae zygospores are breaking down the crystals and separating out the minerals, and then it binds to the clay, right? I don't know how else to explain it. How I got more out than what I put in, a lot more. Um, yeah, I'm just rambling on here, so I'll stop. But fascinating, completely fascinating.